So I've just emptied the kiln, or started to empty the kiln. I'm going to have a good look at all of these, but it's just really to show you that we have them all out now, and I'm going to have a good look at both sides of this. That's quite an interesting one, isn't it? And sort of see what reactions we got. I've also done the ones on the black. Some have run. The reason, which is quite good, the reason for having that is that, you know, we can see that we have got some that really do run, and that is important. Fantastic, lovely little piece for a candle that I've just done in the ancient copper. Isn't that lovely? But I just want to share how gorgeous this bowl has come out. I haven't got it out yet. I've done a mug, and then I've done another piece that is my river, my Midnight Skies piece. Which is gorgeous. And then I've made these little pieces that's been done in Smokey Merlot with some little white on the top face. So that's Smokey Merlot. That's really sweet. This one is Indigo Float, with the whole of the inside has had white on it, and the underneath just stayed as Indigo Float. How beautiful is that? And in fact, all the pinch bits have actually given texture to the piece. And then this was a trial, just one that I'd got laying around. I put a little put it in some wadding, some of the wadding that I'd had before. This is blue Chun, Plum Chun, but white on the inside as well to give it texture. And then just a trial with white and some other bits that I did. But I'm so pleased with these. I absolutely love this glaze. Absolutely stunning glaze. It's the blue stone, blue midnight, isn't it? Blue midnight. I know a lot of you have been. I've got a little bit of a mark there. That's a shame. I did the underneath in a Celadon because I wanted to try and. Interestingly enough, the bottom has adhered. That's interesting. The bottom has adhered. It wasn't waxed either onto that, so that's something to look out for when you're using the same. I'll have to give that a bit of a sanding. But look at that finish on there. Yeah, it's gorgeous. Okay, so I'm going to run through with everybody my results on my test tiles. Some very interesting results here. And then I've also got the ones that I did with the Obsidian. I've got a bit of a fail. I've got, thank God again, that I not only have this catcher tray, but I have put it on a slab, and I have got obviously an over thing. Now, the big question for me is my kiln. I'm using the Gutt 1080 18 with the automatic firing. I've discussed this before. In fact, I'm doing a cone 6 on a 10-minute hold in this case, and you know, that hold is causing it to go up above a cone 6. Everything here has been fired on. There's that one as well. Has been fired on a cone 7 plus, really. So that has really confirmed with me that I want to change on the next one a bit cooler. And the reason why that I see that more than I really think that rainbow is just a bit tipping darker than what I've got on previous rainbows, but that might be just my imagination. It's a funny argument, isn't it? Because I mean, if you look at these in the, you know, the Blue Midnight, that has come out beautifully. These are, oh nearly, these are exactly what you would expect Blue Midnight to be. there's no reason to suggest that it's an overfire, it's too hot. What may be the overfire suggestion is when it's got that hold, we're getting more running. I don't know. Your thoughts are quite good for me on this. It may be, you know, usually I put a lot of oatmeal. It may be, you know, seriously, I've just put some extra oatmeal, and we know that green, you know, some of the greens run. Interestingly as well, for future reference for me, on this one I put Storm on the bottom of Celadon because I wanted to fill the bottom in, but now I can categorically say that Blue Midnight doesn't run. I'm happy with that, and I'm going to be putting Blue Midnight into the bottom if I wish, because it's not going to run for me. Okay, so let's have a look first of all at our findings with regards to the Emerald Falls on the left hand side and the Smokey Merlot on the right. So this is how this has come out. We can see that we had a good run on the left hand side with the oatmeal, but I know, because that is how oatmeal affects Smokey Merlot on Obsidian, and you can actually see that on the right hand side. So there on the right hand side we have the oatmeal over the Smokey Merlot over the Obsidian. Now on the left hand side of this we have Emerald Falls. I've never put Emerald Falls over the top of the black before. It sort of does blend in, gives a reaction, but you know, Smokey Merlot, I think we all agree, is a win-win. That is one of the ones we will always keep jumping back to. Okay, so just to show how that was on this side, so we can see it, we've got that image for that side. We have that image and that amount of oatmeal for that side. Emerald Falls has actually just really almost overdone the you know, it's sort of covered it. So it's and that was number 34. Okay, now the Blue Stone and the Blue Midnight is one of these ones. I believe that on the right will be the Blue Stone. That actually is just a beautiful colour into it, but you'll see that there are others that do the same thing. In hindsight, yeah, as I said, that the back one really didn't do much, as neither did that on the other side. So we'll jump over those. So the learning curve is they're not really doing enough. Okay, so the next one we're going to look at is number 38, which is Indigo Float and Seaweed. This is another lovely one. So that on the right there is how the Indigo Float sits on the top of Obsidian. 3 coats and 3. The running all the way down to the bottom I don't think would have happened if I'd been a little bit cooler. As you can see, I had painted it halfway, but I'd put enough on because I wanted to see the reaction. And then if we turn that round, there is the Seaweed, and that bit is, interestingly enough, going to be the overlap. So the overlap is nice. So the overlap of Seaweed over Indigo Float, not so much of a reaction of Indigo Float over Seaweed. Again, we have got the oatmeal. The oatmeal has just shifted it, not really caused any difference in colour. That's the oatmeal over the Seaweed. Okay, so that is a lovely colour for us. And then the last one really of those that worked was Saphire Float and Textured Turquoise. So that on the right is the Textured Turquoise. This is number 36. I'll just check that I'm giving you the right information. Yeah, so that on the right is Textured Turquoise on Obsidian, which, as we can see, has turned into blue. And then on the other side, sort of similar. So we're getting those same results, and so the standout ones are going to be Smokey Merlot and Seaweed. Did I do Seaweed? There's the question. Did I do Seaweed on those? I thought I had. myself. Yes, yes, Indigo Float and Seaweed. Yes, yes, yes. So yes, so there's the Seaweed, yes. Okay, good. So let's move that out of the way now. And have a... Okay, so now we'll go through the all these test tiles, and I'll just basically run through so you can see them, the numbers and what we've done as we go. So what we're doing on the front, we had the left hand side left to be the natural colour. On the right hand side we added Oatmeal, thick but not big globular. And then at the back we had Ancient Jasper on the left and we had Snow on the right. So let's go to Midnight Blue. And yeah, as I said, you know, there's the Midnight Blue in the big bowl, and there it is on here. Lovely colour, Midnight Blue. I love how it lets out the black marks on it. But the right hand side with the Oatmeal, not really much of a response. I quite like the reaction on the left of the Ancient Jasper, though very subtle. And of course you've really thrown into a different coloration when you've added the snow. That's just 2 layers of snow and 2 layers of Ancient Jasper. Okay, then Saphire Float. So there's Saphire Float on the left, and a nice actually reaction with Oatmeal on the right. And on the back there is your Ancient Jasper, and there is your white. So the white is a bit like, has reacted a bit like the rainforest. When we put white on to rainforest, we get this reaction. I don't know if that's classed as an oil glaze, but we get that sort of reaction. Okay, then we've done Cobalt Celadon. That's just wicked colour in its own right, isn't it? But that has done something. The white does not go into the Celadon as it does with the rainforest, but the Ancient Jasper has definitely caused a bit of a reaction, and actually that's quite interesting over the white. So that's the Cobalt. Then the Storm. Again, not much happening with Oatmeal, but an interesting reaction with the white, not an interesting reaction with the Ancient Jasper. The Ancient Jasper is just gone to a colour and made it sort of muddy. Okay, Bluestone. Bluestone, lovely, interesting, contrasty colour with its matte. Interestingly enough, that is again, Ancient Jasper just didn't do anything, but the reaction of the white on a whole pot would look lovely. That's really nice. Okay, I've got a mug I made with Art Deco Green. Art Deco Green is a weird one for me because on lots you see that it goes into grey. And what is interesting for me, and it's on here a bit, I did a mug with Art Deco Green, and the Oatmeal went totally into like pitting. It was quite interesting. It was a texture that was really nice. Okay, Emerald Falls. Now on that left hand side, that Ancient Jasper is actually quite nice. There are some definite tones of orangey red at the top of that Ancient Jasper, so that is something that I would pursue. I like that. That has a lot going for it. And in fact, if you remember when we did Ancient Jasper on top of I'll remember it in a minute, Textured Amber Brown with the Ancient Jasper, that's the bowl that we got a lovely reaction with. So that's just reconfirming that. So this is the Tourmaline. This is Tourmaline with Oatmeal. And on the back, that's nice, as interesting again. That's the Tourmaline with the Ancient Jasper on the left. White hasn't really done anything for us. Okay, then I have True Celadon. A little bit of a reaction, not really one that jumps out at me. That's something on the right, but not anything that's going to make me jump up and down. Then we've got Chun Plumb. that is a bit of an interesting colour. Chun Plumb in its own right is an odd colour. It's got this orangey pink, isn't it? And we have textures in its own right. There's the ancient Jasper and the white. And in fact, what I've done is I did a little piece over here, just playing about with making some flowers. And that is Chun Plumb underneath. And that is it with a single coat of snow over the top of the top piece to give me some texture and see what it does. Now in that context, I think actually it really works. So that is that one there. Okay, put that out of the way. Now deep olive speckle, you know, I've got some glazing to do next, which you'll see, which is me, I've got some pots here, which is me doing a lava fleck clay in the UK, which is actually a grogged clay. And I have a test piece that I was doing. I was playing with some slips, and then I'll put that, you know, you always get this, you get the spots through when you do anything on a grogged clay, because the glaze reacts differently to where the grog is compared to the clay. And I love that finish. And I have actually got all that to do, and there's a test piece here that I'll show you later on next time that I've done playing with different glazes on that same grog clay, the lava fleck. But ones that I have seen that seems to work on that, and I'm not really well, I have got it here, that's the speckle on the different clay, but you can sort of see that, and that sort of reactions are very different again. But it's an odd colour on its own, but obviously has its place. That's very spectacular on the right. I like that very much actually. Okay, then we've got the deep Sierra speckle. And the backs. That's interesting, isn't it? That white again. That also has a place. I very much like that. I'm tempted maybe when I do these ones on the lava fleck, maybe I put some white on the inside of the mugs to see what reaction I get. We'll have a think. Deep fire brick. Again, the oatmeal has given a little bit of a reaction. And that is the back ones. Now that ancient Jasper on the deep fire brick always looks stunning, and the reaction you get is quite spectacular. Okay, there's the textured amber brown. It's a gorgeous colour in its own right, isn't it? And that oatmeal on there is nice. Now for me, that's something to know about, because I really do like this reaction. And clearly, if I did the same sort of thing with the oatmeal, I'm going to get again that sort of reaction. So I think I need to work some more with textured amber brown. There it is with the ancient Jasper and the snow. River Rock I've not had very long, and I've only used it a couple of times, but what a glorious glaze. That you know on its own is stunning. And there we obviously have some running opportunity with oatmeal, bringing some greens in, and that's very different. But look at that, everything on that looks stunning, doesn't it? Everything, all these different textures, the white and the ancient Jasper. The ancient Jasper is glorious. So we had another piece, didn't we, where we had some very interesting reaction with ancient Jasper, I think we talked about earlier. And you know, just shows you we can do something really quite spectacular with that over a few colours. And here is ancient Jasper on its own. Do you know, I've not really thrown many pieces on its own, and what a glorious colour that ancient Jasper has come out. This is why I question whether I really need to worry about cooling my kiln down, because, you know, some of these are spectacular. And what am I trying to find? You know, I would really appreciate people's opinions on that. And then on the back side, we have got the reactions. Again, some glorious reactions there. Just got to watch that things don't run off the pot when you're doing that. Okay, so this now is just a slight deviation. This is now the Mayco Gutt Hellrot. Now, I love reds, but I was always taught that reds are going to run, and reds should be inside pots, not outside. And you can see how much it has run. The white's interesting on it, but that red is just stunning. Now, I'm wondering about putting it halfway down one of these pots, for example, where I know that there's plenty of room for it to go, but you can see when it's on the outside, it is a reaction. And so that's something to think about. Now, there is the orange version of this, and it is, in this case, has come out very orangey, more orange than when I've used it before. Again, that may be an indication of it being hotter in the kiln, but again, look at the running. It's something to consider when it's on the outside of a pot. That's very spectacular, that on the left hand side. Not sure what I feel about it. I like the white on it, but yeah. So then we have then a Mayco one. These were Terracolor. Then we have a Mayco one which was matte, the matte black on the Mayco with the Oatmeal, that's caused some interesting sort of pitting and reaction. And then on the back, again, that's making that look much more like metal, which is quite interesting. That would be the Ancient Jasper and the Snow. And then I've got my Magma Glazes. So this is my Mayco Light Magma, 4 coats, really thick, because I wanted to see. There is a discussion that the light magma does not bubble up as much as the dark magma, but at this cone, which I think was cone 7, it obviously is reactive. Then I put the black on it to see what I got. So that was on top. So that's going to be 5 coats on that right hand side. Interesting. Don't really feel it has a value add. But there is the dark magma, just spectacular. And then on the right, I put the white on. Again, no real value add. They really probably should just be kept as their own stages and separates. Now, then I played a little bit more with doing some extra colours. This is a repeat of the deep orange speckle, but I wanted to put on it blue stone. I don't know if I took a picture of it. Let me just see if I did. I don't think I did. I took some pictures of the other ones. Okay, so yes, this was done as a blue stone on the top, with the right hand side having Oatmeal, I believe, and just seeing what the blue stone did on its own. Okay, then I did some, let's have a look at my, let's go do this slightly differently. Okay, so this one was, I wanted to know, I'm really pleased I did this, I wanted to know what red, because we know it runs, what it would do if I did it over the top of Celadon. So 3 coats of, sorry, of Obsidian Celadon, 3 coats of that, and then I did a block and I did some piping on, if you like, so it's thick. But look at that, that is, and actually it hasn't run, because I'm halfway up, it hasn't run off the pot as such. It has run much more off the back. I'm just trying to see whether I did a photo of the back. No, I didn't. So I need to have a look at the video to see what I did off the back. Probably the same, but that is quite spectacular. So that's that one. Then, now this is very interesting. All the way through this, I know how Oatmeal works over the Smokey Merlot and the black. So I wanted to try exactly the same using the Storm. So I did two of the Storm, and I did 2 things. Firstly, I did this where I put red on the Storm, and look at what I got. That could be very spectacular over a whole pot. It's very interesting. I only put it on one side. And then that is the same one with me trying, I put Smokey Merlot and Oatmeal to hope that I got some form of reaction like that, and I didn't. It's there, it is there in the distance, but it's not really a very strong reaction. And then last 2, we put Emerald Falls over Let me see which one this was. Emerald Falls on number 62. Went over textured amber brown. Just on its own with nothing. And then I did Bluestone over textured amber brown. Now I have had some reactions with this. I think it just might be, you know, that on its own, you can see you could get something nice out of Bluestone on textured amber brown. So there's a bit of work to be done there. Okay, so I think realistically that's probably everything that I want to discuss with you. I have pointed out these, that I did one coat of snow over the top of Indigo Float, and that's over around the edge on Smokey Merlot. So I know this video is going to be a long one, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to do it in two parts. I'm going to put up the painting and then we'll put up the results, because clearly I waffle a lot. It doesn't hurt, does it? Because I think as we look through these, there might be just some things in there that anybody here, you know, wants to try, and that's the point, you know, that is the point. So, you know, enjoy yourselves, happy potting, and I will see you soon.